December 9th, 2021. There I got a call from a guy, new customer. I guess he called one of my plumbing friends and he referred me to go over there. I guess there's a problem with he's got a gas boiler and he's got a damper control on. He said the thing keeps opening and closing, opening and going around and around and around, and it's not firing for some reason. I don't know. I'll have to go figure out what's going on with it. Them damper controls, I got a little, you can lock them out, you can manually open them. You can open them with a little switch and then, you know, put the little switch and they stay open all the time. Either that or I'll just cut the sucker right out of there. Rip it the hell out, you don't need it. Just bypass the sucker. I've done that before. Them things are expensive. You only gain like 1% on the efficiency when you get that damper control. Nothing but a pain in the ass. I might even have one of them damper controls in the truck, to be honest with you. Not cheap though. I think they're like $275 for that damper control. Crazy. Everything's gone flipping nuts. But anyway, we're gonna go over there and see if we can get this guy some heat.
This just.
All right, hang on a minute.
Yeah, sure. Kept rotating all night long.
Really?
When it opened.
Well, there's a little. We'll put it on bypass. We'll go ahead and run the heat upstairs.
Turn it up.
Yeah, it's a little weird unit.
Yeah.
We'll put it right on bypass. Once it opens, we'll put it on. We'll put it on lock and we'll lock it out. Once it opens, we'll lock it out. It's a little switch right here. You can do it manually sometimes.
Crank it out.
Yeah, once it opens, we'll just lock it. All right, so I put it on lock, so that's not going to shut anymore. There's a little switch on the side there.
So that'll keep it open.
That's going to keep it open. There's an end switch in there where this thing opens and it's supposed to, you know, the end switch is supposed to make and then fire the boiler. But sometimes that thing gets cattywampus on us, so I just leave it open. I mean, they're not cheap to buy these things.
Right.
So that's what I would do if I was you. We'll just disconnect it. We'll disconnect it and give it a couple of tries and see what happens.
Put in ventless gas fireplaces to heat.
Ventless?
Ventless, yeah.
Gotta watch that.
I know. I only turn them on to heat the room up and then turn them off.
It's got kind of a weird control.
That's what it would go like that, and then it would just shut down.
Really?
Yeah. Then because that thing just kept rotating, and when it seemed like when it closes, it would that automatically shut it off.
Get a pilot. I don't think this has got a flame sensor on it. Oh, it could have been that damper thing, you know? A problem with the damper thing. Could be a thermostat upstairs that's an issue, too. What about change the batteries?
It's a Nest.
Oh, that might be.
Really?
Maybe that thing's gone cattywampus.
You think that could be?
Could be the thermostat. Nest.
So if this
Biggest piece of shit you ever bought.
really don't buy him?
I wouldn't. I'm jumping out the thermostat here, but that's not saying that Nest isn't being a problem. Well, we opened the damper up, so that's not going to be a problem anymore, right?
Right.
Well, it could be that thermostat's calling and then not calling and then calling and not calling and shutting on and off. I mean,
all right.
so that's a successful you know, 2-3 times. Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Let me show you, let me just, I have the old thermostat that I took off.
Oh, it's working now, guy. You know, it's very possible that it was that damper.
So maybe it's just a faulty...
Oh, it could be anything. It's not acting up now, so there's really nothing I could do. It'd just be taking a guess, right?
Right.
I'm thinking that it was probably this damper.
Yeah, because it just seemed like... So when it closes, would that automatically shut it off? The furnace? Because that seemed to be what would happen.
Well, the thermostat is like a wall switch. Mm-hmm. When you want light, you turn the switch on. That's the same thing with a thermostat.
Right. It's
set for temperature, though. So when it gets cold, a couple of degrees, the thermostat closes, and this just closes a circuit, and it fires this. And when the thermostat gets satisfied, it just opens a circuit. It's very simple.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that thermostat's not going cattywampus on us.
Right.
You know?
But Ken, I was just watching this thing.
Well, this is not gonna rotate anymore because I locked it open. It's gonna stay open all the time.
Yeah.
There's a little lever over there that I left it on.
And
okay.
That's
not a big deal. You're gonna lose like 1% efficiency, which ain't shit.
Yeah.
Right. This is an 80, so it might be like 70, 79 now instead of 80, which I wouldn't worry about.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd much rather have heat.
This one here I got a call back from that guy where his, remember he said that his heat was running for like 30 seconds and shutting off, and his draft damper was turning on and then shutting off, then turning on and shutting off. Oh, he's calling me back now. It's been a couple of weeks, he's got no heat, and it's doing the same thing again. So it's not the damper, because I got that on bypass. I think it's that, it could be that he's got a Nest thermostat upstairs, he said. Maybe it's that. He said it runs for 30 seconds and then shuts off. It runs for 30 seconds and shuts off. It's a gas boiler. I don't believe it has a flame sensor on that thing. But anyway, it wasn't acting up when I was there, last time I was there. And I bypassed the damper, which I thought it might have been that, and we let it ride. Now he's calling me back that he's got no heat and it's acting up. So that's kind of good that I can go there and find out exactly what it's doing. Well, I'm going there now. It's Christmas Eve. And by the time I get there, it's going to probably be 12 o'clock. Everybody's going to be closed. So we'll see what happens. He's got a Mecca carpet down there. He's been praying to the west. Over in Mecca carpet. I wonder if he's going to be over there doing some praying for his heating system. Yeah. He's kneeling down praying to the rising sun, Miss Molly. Alright, so you're saying it's cycling. You got that Nest thermostat upstairs, right?
Right.
We can jump it over there.
Typically, every 30 seconds. Better do it.
Put this economizer off. We'll shut that economizer right off. You don't need that. A little pressure on the boiler. It's not the damper, because we got the dampers wide open, right?
Yep.
So you think it should have shut off by now?
Give it a couple seconds. I tried just, after I called you to make sure.
Unless it's going off on high limit or something and then not circulating. Was the house wasn't heating at all?
No.
I was back here on the 9th, and today's the 24th, so it's a couple of weeks.
So we were laying in bed.
Okay, there, just shut off.
There you go. Because I was hearing the chimney upstairs.
T-stat circulator clicking in. Watch the thermostat. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump out that thermostat right there.
Okay.
Okay, on 2 wires and see what happens. And that'll tell us if it's the thermostat or not. If we jump this out and it works, it's your nest. So we're just jumping out the thermostat. We just jumped it out.
Okay.
We'll see if it stays on now. If it does, it's your thermostat. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably that fabulous nest. Did you want that?
Well, you know, they offered it to me, and I put it in 2 years ago, and it worked fine.
It's like $250 for that thing. Crazy.
Yeah, they were discounted to 99.
They got them down to 99, trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, it was through EverSource.
Some guys love them things.
See, now it's not kicking.
See, now it seems to be fine, right? So look, you want to put the old thermostat back in there and try it? I mean, why not?
Yeah.
We'll rip that thing out of there and put the new one in.
See if that does it. I wondered if that would correct the other thing that was going on with the damper.
Probably, because it was doing the same thing, right? Now let's just give it a minute here, but
Yeah.
I don't see no common wire running up for that Nest thermostat. I don't know how he's feeding the common wire. You sure it's a Nest?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's like I said, I put it in.
He's only got 2 wires going up there. There's no common.
So there's one for.
I just want to give it a little bit here, so there's no doubting that that's what the problem was.
Yeah.
Because when I was here the other day, it wasn't acting up. Remember?
Right. Well, it was doing it, but then when we shut that off, it was fine.
We shut the damper off.
Yeah, it worked fine, and that was what, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then
I think I'd leave the damper locked and loaded like we have,
Yeah.
and let's put your old thermostat back, and then let's try that. In the meantime, we can leave it running because it's cold in the house.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's go do that because that's jumped out right now, so it's gonna run.
Very good.
This one don't even have a common hook to it. Yeah, we'll put the old one back on and see what happens. We got the red H and then the W for the heat. We'll just plop it back on there and that should do it. So I'm just gonna turn it up.
Yeah.
75 now, just so to get it to run, but you might have to look up how to program this thing because this is your thermostat, right?
Right, right.
So 75 for heat it is calling. We'll see what happens downstairs.
Okay.
Once that's calling, we got the wires back tied together. It should fire up. We'll see if that does it. I think it was that. I bet you it was that thermostat.
Huh.
Well, I'll tell you in a second if it stays on, right?
Right.
Well, we're back on thermostat mode here. And them two reconnected.
And just leave the.
If you had to take them two and just touch them two together, it would run, you know? But it wouldn't shut off.
Which ones?
Them are the thermostat wires right there. Okay? It just runs up to the thermostat, and when the thermostat calls, it closes. And it shows it right here on the thing. So you got the power, then you got the thermostat, then you got the limit, and you got the damper, and then you got the flame. So if you want, I can release that damper if you want.
Yeah, you want to try it? See if it. I know what the switch is.
Yeah, go ahead and just flip that little button. So when it shuts off, it should shut off, that little button. Yeah, just pull it over to it. Yeah, there you go. So now when this shuts off, that damper will shut. And then when this calls for heat, that damper will open, right? And then fire the boiler. So it's just got to go through an extra sequence. Because I don't think that was the issue. I think it was
it kept turning.
It was your Nest. It was your Nest thermostat.
Okay.
And if that starts giving you an issue again, just lock it out. Okay?
Yeah, gotcha. So that was okay. So all the time it was the.
I think it was the Nest thermostat, which I was questioning that before.
Yeah. It's not kicking on. Like I said, they had a Nest in it, and when they left, they took it out. Put that one in. Saw it?
There's two kinds of Nest. That's the cheaper version of the two, I think.
Yeah, there's the one that we have up in the upstairs for the air conditioning is different than the one that's down.
Yeah,
They're not interchangeable.
They're not.
Yeah.
I think that one don't need a common wire. That one that you got up there doesn't, because it ran without a common.
Yeah.
Must have batteries in it or something. The other one needs a common.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled it off. The wiring is different on the air conditioning.
Yeah. But you said that thing ran for 2 years, no issues.
Yeah. Yeah, never had a problem.
So it's running now, guy. I mean, you want to go turn that thermostat down to what you want so it shuts off?
Yeah. Or get it down to...
Yeah, turn it down below the temperature and we'll see if it shuts down. Make sure it's good before I leave. This is Christmas. Christmas time is upon us. Yep, she just shut off. Alright, she shut off!
Yeah, I didn't touch it. It says it's back on 63, so I don't know if that's the temperature up there or what.
It shut off on its own?
Yeah, I never got to it.
Well, maybe it's the programmable thing. She shut right off. She's not cycling on and off or nothing. She shut right off.
So should I want me to crank it back up?
You want to just put a regular thermostat in there like we talked about? You want to fuck with that thing all weekend?
Nope. Yeah.
Let's put a regular one in there, huh? 62, except for 60. We had it set for 675. See it?
Oh, yeah.
So it
That's
was
what
on
it was
program. It was on program mode. So let's just put another one in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's on heat. We got 56. It's set for 70 in here.
Okay.
So it's going to be running downstairs because this was in the cold truck.
Okay.
So it's 70, and then when you let it, it'll say 56. So that boiler should be running. Let it run for a while. Make sure it shuts on and off, but it should be fine. Have to be ordered. All right, so she's working. You want to go shut it, the thermostat down, turn it down, and we'll see it shut off and make sure the damper shuts down.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go down below that 54.
Okay.
Just turn it. Just put the arrow down until it goes, below the set point.
Yeah.
Because it was in my truck and it was cold, so we're just gonna shut it down, make sure it works. The other thermostat was a programmable one. He didn't want to play around with the program on it. All right, so it shut down. This should shut down.
Set it down to 50.
Yep, it's shut down and the damper's shutting down, so that's what we want.
Okay. Put it back up.
Yeah, and then you can turn it back up and just set the room temperature for what you want, and it'll come up to speed quickly because it was a cold thermostat in my truck, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you want is set for 70 or whatever, set it for that.
Okay.
Replace thermostat. Another Nest bites the dust. So it ran good until 14, 15 days. It ran fine and it started going wacky again. Wouldn't woke on us again, Mama. Oh, I just left that job. That Nest thermostat was acting kind of weird. It was coming on, off every 30 seconds. And it ran good for what? I was over there on the 9th, so that was what? 15 days it ran fine for. Then it started acting up again. So when I first went there the first time, it wasn't acting up, so I thought it might have been the damper, because he said the damper kept going around in circles and circles, so we bypassed the damper, and then he calls me 15 days later. And when I went there, it was acting up. I jumped out the TT downstairs, and she stayed going, so I knew it was the thermostat. So we put his other price right thermostat he had on there. That thing was all kind of weird, in all kinds of program. He'd have to look up how to program that thing online. So he said just change it, put a basic one in there, which I did. I had one heating and cooling in the truck. We just put that in there, and good enough for them. It's New Year's, Christmas Eve, so I don't want to be working too late here. Going to my sister's tonight and see the family. Merry Christmas, Miss Molly. Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Miss Molly. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you give a kiss. Merry Christmas, Miss Molly. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Miss Molly. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you love kisses. You love kisses, Miss Molly.